My name is Eva, and I work in advertising. And I can start saying that there are not enough women in advertising, or at least not in a position to creatively affect and produce the work that we see out there. And by work, I mean those arts that really shape the pop culture and the world we live in. Currently in the US, only 11% of creative directors are female. That means that advertising agencies really are not doing enough to understand the female consumers. To ideate those arts that really show an integrated world with equal opportunities for all genders, we need mixed teams. There are no excuses allowed. Studies show that a diverse workforce really provides a larger pool of ideas and experiences, and then if we have these many ideas, then we can make better choices. And what happens is that we have innovative messages that are hopefully in tune with the market. This also boosts the profitability of the companies because employees show higher engagement and less turnover. Specifically to advertising, we need teams able to understand our audiences and inspire and create amazing work. And this is really something that we need to do for the next generation, especially for young girls. Together with my colleague Maylene, I run the LA chapter of an organization called She Says. She Says is a global award-winning organization running free mentorships and events to women in digital marketing and advertising. May and I got to know She Says in London many years ago, as She Says was funded there in 2007. In a city spread out as LA, we feel it's really important to organize these get-together and facilitate the conversation between women. In a business like ours, where we spend so much of our time behind screens, really sharing learnings and experiences is so needed. Being a creative person in advertising is pretty tough and demanding. And being a female creative or female manager is even harder, because you need to have a great self-esteem to navigate this male-dominated industry. So the big problem is, as I say, there are not enough women, at least not in decision-making positions. And the ads produced are definitely not representative of our today's society. One is from the 50s, one is from a couple of years ago. In my opinion, there is one way out, and this way is not really just applying to advertising. And it is that we women really need to stop focusing about thinking that we are women. And it might sound strange, but the moment you realize you're the only woman in the room, you're already creating a separation. I've been in the room as only one many times, and I really learned to stop thinking about the me and them. We're in that room all together to create killer work. We might have different opinions and different insights. I might bring the feminine touch, someone else the technical know-how, and someone else in the same room has a different cultural background, and they equally important to the ideation process. It's not been easy to be in the room, and especially when focusing on digital advertising, as I do, but there's still the assumption that if it's tech, it's masculine. There are two experiences that I'd like to share with you tonight that really opened my eyes, and they are actually two industry awards, two events. One is the Cannes Lions. That's an event that happens in the summer when la crème de la crème of the advertising industry gets together on the French Riviera, celebrating the best work of the past year. Between all the parties and all the mingling, I really quickly realized how archaic our industry was. An industry, actually, that prided itself for being in tune with the market and being really progressive. There was very little interest in doing business with me, and I wasn't taken seriously. The first question I was asked was who I was there with. Because being a young lady, everyone was making the assumption that I was someone's assistant or someone's girlfriend or just there for fun. Definitely not the executive producer of a top production company, definitely not someone to be taken seriously. The fascinating thing was that even we're talking with other women, and they were often older than me and working on the film side of the business, they were judging me, but they were judging me on a different scale, as I didn't have all the fancy accessories to prove there was someone important. After a week in Cannes, I had learned more about the ad industry than all the previous year in the office. And it was kind of scary. But then my Italian blood kicked in and I got all feisty and I really realized that, we need to change this. We need to change the status quo and start empowering other women in the business. And that's where it started. Then a couple of years later, I had the honor to be on the D&AD jury for websites. The D&AD, they call themselves the world's toughest annual award show, and I was the only woman in my jury of 15. By the time I got to say something, everyone else in the room had already given their opinion, and it just felt like I was reiterating what they said and confirming how great they were. Even though the jury president was actually Swedish, and he was trying to make sure I could speak up. But there is something special when you get top creative alpha men in a room for a few days. There is this special camaraderie that's kind of hard to break as a woman. It doesn't matter what you do. That was my very first jury experience, and it really reminded me how important it is to be twice as loud. And because you need that in order to get your ideas through and get your opinions through. So as you know, now I'm Italian, and I lived in London and in Sweden before moving to LA 5 years ago. Finally got the answer to where my weird accent is from. I know you were wondering. And I wouldn't be here tonight if I hadn't started my career in Sweden, one of the top countries for gender equality, where every 11th grader gets to read the book, We Should All Be Feminists, just to say. And that's Sweden, by the way. Looks like that for real. And I've been very lucky to be working with very supportive men, especially at Be Real, where I've worked the past decade. In 2 years, I went from a mid-level producer to being entrusted to open up shop in London as the managing director. I was 28 years old, which is kind of young even in the digital art world, and I was the first female MD of the company. After me, Be Real actually had female managing director across all offices. So in my experience, the secret to gender equality is very simple, and it comes down to respect. And actually seeing the potential in both men and women, trusting they were equally capable and willing to do the best work. It fascinated me how this is something that so many still struggle with, especially in this country. Instead of seeing the value of diversity, we're too scared to embrace it, and what happens is that we hire the same kind of people. And we end up hiring the same manager and the same creative, and that's up creating the same kind of ads. And again, it's even more surprising when you think that people working in marketing should be open-minded, and they should be in touch with their audiences, and the agency should make sure that the team working on these beautiful ads are actually in tune with the target group. That doesn't really happen. So it's not just about being a woman, it's about respect, as I say, but about open collaboration. And this means that you men need to do your part too. Because she says we can empower women and get them a stronger voice, but that's not enough. We need men to embrace the feminine side. And this means being flexible and being open to collaboration, because we know that truly team effort and teamwork really creates amazing art, amazing products. And really no alpha behavior is required. It's just all together in the room, everyone listen to each other, and we're in it. We do it. So if you really start seeing each other for what we bring to the table, if we respect each other for who we are, no matter if we wear skirts or pants, or for that matter what skin color we have, I really think that we can finally produce that amazing work that we need. Because advertising is not just about selling products anymore. Ads are all around us and are really shaping the cultural texture of our world, and they should be inspiring. So it is about the work, and we need that to show that we can have an equal society, and we need that to inspire the next generation and make sure they break from stereotypes and stop seeing everything in pink and blue.